Welcome to Infidelity Diaries. Explore the secrets and stories of infidelity with us. My name is Violet. I'm a fitness trainer at a small but popular gym in downtown Chicago. I always thought my life was predictable, stable, and well organized. A loving husband, a successful career, and a home where I felt comfortable. But one day, everything changed. This man, my client, became the one who turned my life upside down. I knew I shouldn't cross the line, but the magnetism of his presence was too strong to resist. This is a story about how one workout changed everything. Every day at the gym is similar to the last. Familiar faces, the rhythmic sounds of treadmills, and the invigorating shouts of trainers. I enjoy this atmosphere. It gives me energy and motivation. But today was different. Today, he walked in. The moment he crossed the threshold, I noticed him immediately. His name was Asher, a rare name, as unique as he was. Tall, with a fit figure and a confident stride, he instantly caught my attention. He had dark hair and deep brown eyes, in which I got lost right away. We met eyes, and I felt something stir inside me. It was a strange, unfamiliar sensation that I tried to suppress. But Asher was walking straight toward me, and with each step, my heart started beating faster. "Hi, I'm Asher. I'm new to this gym and looking for a trainer," he said, extending his hand. "Hi, I'm Violet. Nice to meet you," I replied, trying to hide my excitement. "I can help you create a workout program." Our first session was filled with ease and mutual understanding. Asher turned out to be not only physically developed, but also incredibly smart and an interesting conversationalist. We talked about everything, from proper nutrition to favorite books and movies. I didn't notice how time flew by. That evening, returning home, I couldn't get Asher out of my head. His words, his smile, his manner of speaking, all left an indelible mark. But I tried to convince myself that it was just work. I'm married, and it means nothing. The next few weeks flew by in a blur. Asher and I trained more often, and our conversations became more personal. I learned about his past, his dreams, and goals. He told me about his travels, how he loved spending time in nature, and how much it meant to him to be in excellent physical shape. One day, after an especially intense workout, Asher and I decided to have a protein shake at a small cafe nearby. The conversation turned to family, and I told him about my husband, how we met, and how we built our life together. Asher listened attentively, not interrupting, but I noticed a shadow of regret in his eyes. "Asher, is everything okay?" I asked, noticing his thoughtful look. "Yes, I just sometimes envy people who have found their other half," he replied, smiling. "It's really something special." His words touched me deeply. For some reason, I wanted to know more about him, to understand why he was so alone. We continued talking, and each day I realized more and more that he was becoming something more to me than just a client. One evening, after the gym had closed, I stayed late to finish a report. Asher was there too. He always trained until late. As I was leaving the gym, he was waiting for me at the exit. "Violet, can I walk you to your car?" he asked. "Of course," I replied, feeling a slight excitement. We walked in silence, enjoying the cool evening air. Suddenly, Asher stopped and turned to me. "Violet, I need to tell you something," he began, looking me straight in the eyes. "I know you have a husband, and I don't want to hurt you, but I can't hide my feelings any longer. You have become very important to me." His words hit me like a bolt from the blue. I didn't know what to say. All the feelings I had tried to suppress suddenly burst out. I understood that it was wrong, but I couldn't help myself. We stood close to each other, and I could feel his breath. At that moment, time didn't exist. It was just us. Asher slowly leaned toward me, and our lips met in a gentle but passionate kiss. That moment felt like an eternity. After that kiss, which seemed to pause the world, I stepped back, trying to collect my thoughts. A whirlwind of guilt, fear, and Something else that I still couldn't name swirled in my head. Had I really allowed myself to cross the line? I need to go, I whispered, averting my gaze from Asher. See you tomorrow at the workout. Asher said nothing, just nodded and let go of my hand. I quickly walked to my car, feeling my heart pounding wildly. The entire drive home, I could only think about what had happened and how it might affect my life. When I entered the house, my husband Jason was already asleep. I quietly slipped into the bedroom, hoping that sleep would help me sort out my feelings. The morning started with the usual routines: breakfast, workouts, and talking with clients. I tried to focus on work, but thoughts of the kiss kept surfacing in my mind. That day, I had another workout scheduled with Asher, and I didn't know how to behave around him. It felt like I was playing a dangerous game where the stakes were too high. When Asher arrived for the workout, he acted as usual, showing no sign that anything had happened between us. This calmed me, and I decided we needed to continue behaving professionally. But inside, I knew our relationship would never be the same. We started the workout with a warm-up, and everything was going according to plan. But when it came to strength exercises, Asher came too close to me. I felt his warmth, and that feeling I was trying to suppress flared up again. "Violet, are you okay?" he asked, noticing my hesitation. "Yes, everything's fine," I replied, trying to stay calm. "Let's continue." But our workouts could never be the same again. Every time I looked at Asher, I saw the same feelings in his eyes that I felt. It was dangerous, and I knew we had to make a decision. After the workout, we were alone in the gym. Asher approached me and quietly said, "Violet, I can't hide this any longer. You mean more to me than just a trainer." I took a deep breath, gathering my thoughts. I needed to make a decision that would change everything. "Asher, I can't ignore this either," I said, looking him in the eyes. "But I'm married, and this can't continue. We have to stop." His face darkened, but he nodded, accepting my words. "I understand, Violet. But know that I'll always be here if you change your mind." Those words left me confused. I knew I was doing the right thing, but something inside me screamed that I was missing something important. I spent the entire evening in thought. Jason noticed my tension and tried to talk, but I excused myself, citing fatigue. As I went to bed, I was still thinking about what would happen next. A few days passed, and I tried to return to normal life. But my feelings for Asher didn't fade. I started avoiding him, handing his workouts over to another trainer. But it didn't help. Every time I saw him at the gym, my heart started beating faster. One evening, when the gym was already emptying, Asher approached me and said, "Violet, I can't take this anymore. We need to talk." I nodded and followed him into a small staff room. Closing the door, I turned to him and asked, "What do you want to talk about?" "About us," he replied, looking me in the eyes. "I can't hide my feelings any longer. I know it's wrong, but I can't live without you." His words made me shudder. I understood that the feelings I had for Asher couldn't be ignored, but I didn't know what to do next. We stood in silence for a long time, trying to figure out what to do. And then, at that moment, I realized I couldn't hide my true feelings any longer. "Asher, I like you too," I confessed, feeling tears welling up. "But I don't know what to do." His face lit up with a smile, and he stepped closer to me. "We'll find a solution, Violet. Together." That moment was a turning point. We stood close, and our hearts beat in unison. I knew that challenges lay ahead, but I also knew that with Asher, I could face anything. We kissed, and in that kiss was everything: passion, love, hope for the future. Our kiss was so deep and passionate that all thoughts of right and wrong vanished instantly. I felt his arms wrapping around me, pulling me closer. Our bodies melded into one, and I could no longer control my feelings. It was a moment when we lost our heads and gave in to our passion right here, in the empty gym. Asher held me tightly, yet gently. his lips exploring every inch of my face and neck. I felt the warmth of his breath, sending shivers down my spine. His hands began to glide down my back, finding the clasp of my sports top. In an instant, he unhooked it and tossed it aside. I felt his strong hands sliding down my waist, and with each touch, my body responded more intensely. He carefully pulled off my leggings, leaving me in just my underwear. Our lips met again in a passionate kiss that seemed endless. We took a few steps back toward the nearest bench. Asher gently laid me down on it, continuing to kiss every part of my body. I felt his hands smoothly moving across my stomach, causing me to shudder with pleasure. He slowly removed the last barrier, my underwear, and threw it to the floor. His gaze was full of desire, and I felt myself burning with passion. He leaned toward me, and our bodies became one. At that moment, I forgot about everything: work, my husband, all the problems and prohibitions. It was just us, our feelings, and the passion that overwhelmed us. Asher started slow and gentle, but soon our passion took over. His movements became more confident and intense, and I couldn't hold back my moans of pleasure. Our bodies moved in a rhythm set by nature itself. I felt his hands gripping my hips, holding me in place, which only heightened my enjoyment. We completely lost ourselves in the moment. Every kiss, every touch, every breath was filled with passion and love. Our bodies acted instinctively, and I felt my whole being responding to his every move. We were like one, and at that moment, I realized I had never felt such closeness with anyone before. When our bodies finally reached the peak of pleasure, we both felt a wave of ecstasy wash over us, making us cry out in delight. It was like an explosion, releasing all our pent-up feelings and emotions. We lay on the bench, exhausted but happy, feeling each other's heartbeat. Asher lay beside me, embracing me and pulling me closer. We lay there in silence, enjoying the moment. I knew there would be many challenges ahead, but right now it didn't matter. At this moment, I was happy and felt truly alive. We stayed like that for a while, not wanting to break the magic of the moment. But soon reality returned, and I understood that we needed to make decisions about our future. I took a deep breath, getting up from the bench and gathering my clothes. "Violet," Asher began, hugging me. "I know this is difficult, but I'm ready to go through anything for you. We'll manage, together." I looked into his eyes and smiled. Yes, it would be tough, but I knew that with Asher, I could handle anything. We dressed and headed toward the gym exit, knowing that a new chapter of our lives awaited us, full of challenges and decisions. After that night in the gym, my relationship with Asher changed. We could no longer hide our feelings for each other, but we also knew we needed to be cautious. My life was split into two parts, one with my husband Jason, where everything had to appear as it always was, and the other with Asher, where passion and new emotions ruled. The next day, I woke up with a heavy heart. Jason and I ate breakfast in silence, and he noticed my tension. "Are you okay, Violet?" he asked, looking at me with concern. "Yes, just a bit tired," I replied, trying to sound convincing. "There's been a lot of work lately." Jason nodded, but his gaze remained wary. I realized I couldn't hide my emotions forever, but I needed time to sort out my feelings and figure out what to do next. At the gym, I tried to stay professional, but every time I saw Asher, my heart would race. We exchanged brief glances and smiles, but tried not to draw attention. However, the tension between us grew, and I knew it couldn't continue like this for long. One evening, when the gym was almost empty, Asher approached me and said, "Violet, we need to talk. We can't hide our feelings anymore." I nodded and suggested we meet at a nearby cafe after the gym closed. We sat at a table, holding hands, and I felt his presence filling me with confidence and calm. "Violet, I understand you're in a difficult situation," Asher began, looking into my eyes. "But I want you to know, I'm here for you. I'm willing to wait as long as it takes for us to be together. His words touched me deeply. I knew Asher genuinely loved me, and that made my position even more complicated. Asher, I want to be with you too, I admitted, feeling tears well up. But I need to sort out my feelings and figure out what to do about Jason. I don't want to hurt him, but I can't hide that I love you anymore. We sat in silence, holding hands and trying to find a way out of this complicated situation. I knew a decision had to be made quickly, but it was so difficult. The next day, I decided to talk to Jason. It was one of the hardest conversations of my life. I told him everything about my feelings for Asher, about our relationship, and that I could no longer live a double life. Jason listened attentively, not interrupting. When I finished, he sighed and looked at me with pain in his eyes. Violet, I've always known something was off between us, he began quietly, but I never thought it would go this far. I love you and want you to be happy. If that means you need to be with Asher, I'm willing to accept it. His words cut deeper than I expected. I knew I was doing the right thing, but it didn't make the pain any easier. We agreed that I would move in with a friend for a while to give us both space and time to think. When I told Asher about my conversation with Jason, he hugged me and said, I'm proud of you, Violet. You're a strong woman, and I know we can get through anything. I'm here for you, always. Those words gave me strength. I knew there were many challenges ahead, but with Asher, I was ready to face anything. We decided to move forward step by step, taking our time to consider each decision carefully. For a few weeks, we lived in limbo. I moved in with a friend and started looking for a new home. Asher and I tried not to make our relationship too public, giving me time to sort out my life. Jason accepted my decision with surprising resilience, and I was grateful to him for that. Every evening, Asher and I spent time together, discussing our plans for the future and dreaming about how we would build our life. We knew it wouldn't be easy, but we were ready for any challenges because our love was stronger than any obstacles. After several weeks of uncertainty, I finally found a small house in the suburbs that was perfect for starting a new life. It was cozy, with a little garden and plenty of light. I felt that this place would help me start anew. The move turned out to be harder than I expected. Leaving the home I shared with Jason, I realized I was leaving behind a whole life full of memories and hopes. But ahead of me was a new chapter, and I was ready to embrace it with all its challenges and joys. Asher was by my side, helping me with the move and supporting me in every way. His presence gave me confidence and peace. That evening, when we first stayed in my new home, I felt that everything was truly beginning anew. Violet, I'm so proud of you, Asher said, hugging me. You've been through so much, and now we can be together without any barriers. We sat on the terrace, enjoying the silence and tranquility around us. The stars twinkled in the night sky, and I felt that this moment belonged only to us. I'm proud of you too, Asher, I replied, looking into his eyes. You've been my rock through this tough time. I love you. He smiled and leaned in to kiss me. This kiss was full of love and promises for the future. We knew that many challenges lay ahead, but we were ready to face them together. My relationship with Jason remained amicable. We agreed on a divorce, and he supported my decisions. I was grateful to him for that, understanding that he too deserved happiness and peace. Time passed, and my relationship with Asher grew stronger. We spent a lot of time together, exploring new places, working out, and simply enjoying life. I felt that I had finally found my happiness. One evening, as we walked along the beach, Asher stopped and took my hand. Violet, I want to spend my entire life with you, he said, pulling out a small velvet box from his pocket. Will you marry me? I was overwhelmed and happy at the same time. Tears of joy streamed down my cheeks, and I nodded, unable to say a word. Asher slipped the ring onto my finger, and we kissed again, now as future husband and wife. The life I thought I had lost opened up to me with a new, even brighter side. With Asher, I realized that true love can overcome any obstacles and bring happiness I had never even dreamed of. Our wedding plans quickly took shape. We had a small ceremony on the beach, surrounded by close friends and family. Jason was among the guests, and his presence symbolized that the past can remain a part of our lives without hindering our new happiness. On the day I walked down the sandy aisle to Asher, I felt that all my dreams had come true. We exchanged vows to the sound of waves, and that moment stayed in my heart forever. Now, as Asher and I began our life together, I realized that each day was a new beginning, filled with love, joy, and hope. We were ready for any trials, knowing that together we could overcome anything. And in that lay our strength, our happiness, and our love. My life changed more than I could have ever imagined. I went through pain and disappointment, loss and betrayal, but in the end, I found what I had always dreamed of. With Asher, I discovered true love and realized that happiness is always close if you are ready to accept it. Now, each day for us is a new beginning, filled with joy and love. We are building our future together, and I know that many amazing moments await us. I am grateful for all the trials that led me to this moment, and for having someone who is willing to go through everything with me. This is a story about a love that overcame all obstacles and gave us happiness that cannot be described in words. We are together, and that is the most important thing.